Now, I know that I done talked a lot too about how these oil magnate nations are always building these useless projects, wasting their resources on these useless projects, and more importantly, projects that they never complete because it's BS. You know, like this Line City, the NEOM project that's a city that's going to run for 178 kilometers in one line, and everything's going to be cramped, and everything's going to be solar powered and clean energy, and everything. Like, no, it's not. Like, that's not happening. It's horrible city planning. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's not sustainable. But, you know, these are like projects of dictators out. You know, these are like brain. And again, like what? So here, you know, a solar power station in space that's going to beam power to NEOM City 24 hours a day. This technology doesn't exist. Like, there's no, you're not going to be able to power a city with a satellite with solar energy. That's not a thing. That doesn't exist. This isn't going to be completed. The Jeddah Tower, which was supposed to be taller than the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, they started building that. They never completed that. And again, the bigger issue with it isn't that all rich people spending money. It's these are like, again, dictator nations that are wasting their nation's resources on themselves in pet projects like this, instead of investing in industries, instead of investing in the citizenship, you know. So again, like, we've seen what can happen to any nation that has one major outsource, that has one major export rather. We've seen what that can do to if they get sanctioned, or if the world gives them the middle finger in any type of way. You know, we've seen what can happen. So it's like, you know, these nations have had, and again, Saudi Arabia is pretty much propped up by the United States. So they've had decades to really strengthen their nations, and really all they've done is blown all the money and the wealth on the royal families and themselves. Not just Saudi Arabia, but places like Qatar, places like Dubai, you know, where they use slave labor and shit like that. And again, like, I'm not saying that as if all the people there are like this. I'm just speaking on the system in which these countries are operated by dictator royal families. You know, so again, this type of stuff just really makes it funny, because it's like, not only are y'all doing all of that, but it's like you're announcing these projects as if people are going to forget that you announced 40 other projects that you haven't completed. Or you know, or again, technologies that don't exist, or we're going to spend $500 billion on a fucking desert ski resort. Like, we're going to build a city in the middle of nowhere where there's no water resources, there's no rivers, no aqueducts, like, or no deep water caverns, no water underneath the earth. Like, it's like, but you know, ultimately this is how countries end up crumbling in time, because they're not ran well, which is the importance of politics and being involved in it when you can be, because motherfuckers in countries like this, they don't have a democratic process at all. So that's why it's important for us to participate when and while we can, because otherwise you'll just have, oh, we're going to spend all the country's money on imaginary projects. Like, oh yeah, okay.